Welcome back to Ron's Radio Corner. And yesterday, February 13th, was World Radio Day, and I somehow missed it. But one of the things I didn't miss was a few different places. I think radio brands, radio manufacturers, I doubt they're manufacturers, but some of these radio companies, I think on their Facebook pages or maybe YouTube channels, I saw some mention of World Radio Day, and two things I saw sort of directly triggered this video. One was the question, what is your favorite radio? And the other is, what was your first radio? So to the first question, I gave it a little bit of thought, but it really wasn't too hard. My favorite radio of those that I currently own is the GE Super Radio 3. I bought this back in 2006, 2007. I'm not exactly sure. I've talked about this in other videos. I basically bought this because the Montreal Expos became the Washington Nationals, and we're going to be playing in DC. And I wanted to listen to the ball games, but I didn't want to spend the money on the Major League Baseball package that would have allowed me to sort of stream those games. And I wondered if there was a radio that would allow me to pick up those broadcasts from several states away. And after doing a little bit of research, I came across lots of mentions of the Super Radio 3. And it was something that there was a small local department store that was in my area, and they carried it. So I picked this up, and sure enough, I was able to pick up those games. I sort of lost interest in following the Washington Nationals and haven't listened to a Nationals broadcast, if they're still broadcast on a station I could pick up, in a long, long time. But I appreciated the radio. I appreciated how easy it is to use. I appreciated the sound. It's got a really great warm sound. And although there have been periods of time where it's gotten more use and periods of time where it's gotten less use, one thing that really hasn't changed is that every time I use it, I enjoy using it. And every time I turn it on, I sort of appreciate all over again what a nice sounding radio it is, what a full sounding, really warm sounding radio it is. It's not the perfect radio, and it's certainly not the perfect radio for every application. It's big, relatively heavy. So there are definitely more portable radio options out there. If I was listening to a lot of, more modern music on it, maybe I would want something with, like the boom boxes that I once upon a time had with two speakers instead of, sort of the big speaker here and the little one there. But for talk radio, it's got a great sound. And for some of the vintage music that I like to listen to, it's got a really great sound, really nice, warm sound. Like I said, it's a radio that every time I use it, I sort of appreciate it anew. So right now, of all the radios I own, this would be my favorite radio. As far as my first radio, my earliest memory of having a radio that was mine is a kid's radio. It looked like Mickey Mouse, or at least like Mickey Mouse with a profile, just his head, the ear and and his nose, but just from profile. It was an AM radio, and it worked on a 9-volt, I believe. And I really don't remember much else about it. I can't remember like bopping around the house as a really small child, listening to it and playing it, but I do remember it. I had other radios, obviously, after that, but I had other radios that I remember better. I remember having another radio that I can't remember who or what it was, but it had something to do with some TV show that was on in the 70s, and it was like, police or something. But but I haven't been able to locate like anything like that on eBay. So I don't remember much more about it. The radio I probably remember best from my childhood, although not my first radio, is I had a Sanyo radio that was an AM/FM cassette radio, and this in the late 70s. It was black. Had a single cassette deck. This was just before all the boombox stuff came out in the 80s, and that is a radio that I really wish I still had today. Of all the radios that I've had, through growing up, that is one of the ones that I really wish I had. That radio, that a lot of fond memories of listening to radio on that, recording songs off the radio on that. That's like I said, that's a radio that I wish I had somehow held on to, or I could find a mint condition one that wasn't ridiculous amounts of money on eBay or something. But I'm kind of curious. I thought those two questions were interesting. What's your favorite radio? What was your first radio? So, if you're watching this, if you made it through the 6 minutes or so without falling asleep, what was your first radio? And what is your favorite radio? And I would even say, what is your favorite radio that you've owned? And what is your favorite radio that you currently own? If you feel like sharing, please put it in the comments. I'd love to know. There are definitely some people, there's lots of people out there who have very, very big radio collections. Some of the radio channels on YouTube that I follow, I know those folks have tremendous collections, and I would love to know in their very large collections which one would fall as their favorite. So that's it. A day late, a dollar short. World Radio Day, February 13th. So thanks for watching.